Hello, it's Jeanette with Geomazing Papercrafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with another video tutorial, and this is actually a revised tutorial. And I did this ribbon box tutorial a couple of years ago, almost 2 years ago, but I've revised my boxes to be just a little bit bigger and just so that they will flow better. So my measurements are just slightly bigger, but this is my ribbon box. You know, pull out the ribbon as long as you need it, and then all you do is roll it back in like that, and then there's not ribbon all over the place. And then I have a little glue dot right here. So I decided, since I've got all my new in colors, that I would go ahead and make my ribbon boxes for them. So these are the small ones. These are all my new colors for the 2021 to 2023 in colors. And I've got one more box to make. I've got Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and the next one I'm going to be doing is Soft Succulent. So I'm going to show you how I make this, but I also have the measurements in the description for the other sizes that I have here, which is medium, large, and extra large. And if you have the I guess it's called the Pale Papaya 1/2 inch ribbon, you can use a box. The dispenser is kind of big, so you can use a box for the extra large. And then this large one, I'm using that smoky slate textured ribbon. The dispenser that I needed was just a little bit bigger, so I'm calling this my large box. So we've got small, medium, large, and extra large, and those are the measurements that I'm giving you. By the way, this is the beautiful Highland Heather gross green 1/2 inch ribbon. Now what I do when I make these is I try to put the number for the the reorder number right here, just in case I run out. I know what number to reorder. So I'm going to put these aside over here, and I am going to be making a box for this one here. And what I will need is some thick basic white cardstock. If you don't have thick basic white cardstock, just make this in the thickest cardstock that you have. You can even make it in the Soft Succulent cardstock, and it doesn't really matter, as long as you have a nice strong base or a nice strong box. So I'm going to bring out my Simply Scored scoring tool. Yeah, that's not it. I almost brought out my paper cutter. Now for the small boxes, you are going to need a piece of thick cardstock that measures 5 inches by 9 1/4 inch. Okay, and so now with the big ball on your stylus, you're going to want to score this at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then you're going to want to score this at 4 1/4 inch, and then you'll score this at 5 inches. And what I like to do is kind of turn this around and score this at 3/4 of an inch. But if you don't want to do that, that last measurement is 8 1/2 inches. So it's 3/4 of an inch, and then you have 4 1/4, 5 inches, 8 1/2 inches, and then you're going to turn it on the short side and just score this at 3/4 of an inch, and of course rotate it and score it at 3/4 of an inch on this side too. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to make my little notch so that I could mark the center to poke this hole right here. Okay, I want to just make a little bit of a notch marking just to give me an idea where to punch my hole. And so that is going to be at the 6 3/4 of an inch mark. And I'm just going to make just a tiny little notch. I don't know if you can see that notch right here. And that is basically in the center of this main square here. And that is where I am going to be die cutting my hole. And the dies that I'm going to be using are the layering circle dies. I'm very happy that these are not going away. In the next catalog, they'll still be there. And I'm going to just place this right in the center of this big square that's right in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and die cut it with my die cutting machine. Okay, and I will be right back. Okay, now I've done a little bit of decorating on the others, so I think I'll do the same with this one here. I just put a little scallop circle on here just to remind me what color it is in case I'm not looking at the front. So this one, of course, is the polished pink, and I'm working on the soft succulent, so I need to do that with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut a circle. Let me just bring in my little baby die cutting machine, because it fits in camera really nicely. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to put my plates in here. And I'm going to center this on this piece of cardstock. It's soft succulent, and it measures 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches square. Okay, so we're putting that down here. And let's see, do we have a little piece of tape we can kind of tape that down with? You can use washi tape if you want to. That's good enough right there. Okay, and let's roll this on through, if it's going to go through. Sometimes I have a little problem when I do this, but I want to make sure that this is feeding in the right way. Come on. Make sure you have your plates lined up. Maybe go this way. I don't know if any of you've had this problem before. There we go. There's like a little sweet spot sometimes that you've got to use for this little thing, but I still love it. It's small and it's concise, and it is just so much fun to use. Okay, so I've got my circle, and now I'm going to take that scallop from this the scallop circles, and I'm going to be using the 1, 2, 3, the fourth to the smallest. And I'm going to just place this right here. Just try to get it right in the center here. Put these plates back on. Looks like I might be off just a tad, but that's okay. We'll see if that will run through. Okay. Yep. No, plates are not lined up right. Okay, let's try this again. See what I mean? There's just like a little sweet spot here that you need to make sure that the plates are together. If you're having a problem, see, your plates have got to be nice and even together when you go through that. Just a little tip with this machine in case you're having a problem with it, with your machine. Okay, so I've got my little scallop circle. Let me put this little baby machine away. And now I'm going to go ahead and place that circle right here. But I'm going to bring out my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to bring some Tombow Mono adhesive. And we're just going to put just a little drop of adhesive here and there. Just kind of spread it around. You don't have to put a whole lot. Just make sure you have most of it covered up. And then I'm going to grab my tweezers, because this is all ooey gooey, rich and chewy. I am going to put this right here, right in the center here. Okay. Now, let me put my label on here. Am I ready for my label yet? Yeah, I guess I could put my label on there. Is that how we do it? Yep, that's how we did it. This is my soft succulent label that I made on my computer. You can write it on here. That's what I did over here with this one here. I just wrote what the ribbon is, and I'm going to just see, how am I going to do this? My label is kind of messed up. The way I printed it was a little bit off, and so I have to just be careful about how I am placing it down. Okay, there you go. Now I have the name of the ribbon and the reorder number here. Okay, so let's now fold and burnish all of our score lines. I'm going to bring out my bone folder to do that. Okay, now I've got all of my score lines burnished down. And now it's time for me to cut up these score lines, and for that I'm going to be using my paper snips, and I'm just going to cut off the score line here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just cutting into that score line right here, but not beyond it, and I'm cutting right into this right here, and then you can just snip off your score line, you know, the whole thing right there. So you've got yourself a little bit of a gap. You can wedge, but if you're going to wedge on this one here, not on this one. Okay, now it's time to punch our hole, and that's where this little notch that you made comes in, and I'm going to punch a hole right in the center. But I'm just going to take my pencil and just kind of eyeball this right where it is in the center right here where that notch is, and the center this way and that way. And then I'm going to take a 1/2 inch circle punch. If you still have your Project Life circle punch, this is where you're going to use it, or just any 1/2 inch circle punch that you have. Or if you have a die this small, use a small die that's approximately 1/2 inch. However you want to make this hole, that's up to you. Now we're going to do a dry fit. This is the top here. We're just dry fitting. We're not going to glue anything together yet. And then this is the bottom. So we want to fold those in. And the reason I need to do that is I want to make the hole. Let's see. I'm making it look a little harder than it really is. I'm just trying to just dry fit it all. Okay. This is fine. As long as I've got this folded where it's going to be, I want to mark the hole on the other side. And that is going to be right there so that I can punch using this hole punch. And I've got that lined up perfectly right here. Okay, so that when I fold the box, those two holes are going to line up. All right, and now I want to just give myself just a tiny little finger notch here, and trying to go right in the center, but if you're not centered, don't worry about it. All right, now it's time to put our adhesive on here. And the adhesive that I'm going to be using, now you can use tear and tape or you can use Seal. I'm going to be using Seal Plus, so it's a strong adhesive. I think you could probably get away with using Seal, but I would prefer using something a little bit stronger. Seal Plus seems to be working for me, so I'm just going to continue just putting Seal Plus on all of these outside tabs here. I put a couple of layers on there. 1, 2, like that. And one, oops. There we go. And then on the inside flap of this, the one where you have the circle, on these two inside flaps, I'm going to put some Seal on there too, and that's going to help keep the box closed when you're all ready to close it. You've got your ribbon already in there. So I'm going to put the bottom of the box together first. I take it right from the middle, okay, and there, that part, and then this part here, and then that part there, and then I'll put the top together there, and like that. Okay. And that is the way it's going to go. Let's see. Yep. Now it's time to put our ribbon in. And I still actually have, I haven't used this ribbon yet. I actually still have the little plastic piece over it. So let me take out my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to see if I can put my Take Your Pick tool right here. Nope. I still have it under the ribbon. This can be a little tricky sometimes to get your to get this plastic off of here. There it is. Okay, so now I've just got the plastic and I'm just going to pull it off like that. I'm going to grab my ribbon. Now you see how I'm pulling my ribbon? It's coming underneath to the right. I'm going to place my ribbon down here, thread my ribbon through the bottom hole of the bottom of the box, and then place my ribbon back in the box. and then I'll I'll thread it to the top of the box and close it. Okay, these flaps are going to go over the box, these flaps right here. Okay, and now I'm pulling it. See how I can pull it, and now I can just wrap it right in. No matter how much I pull out, I'm going to wrap it right in, and it's going to be nice and evenly wound on the inside. So what I want to do is, first I'm going to seal these little flaps here. That's why I put the glue on the inside. I'm going to put a glue dot right here, and that's just to hold the ribbon where I want it to be, just, you know, so I could pull the ribbon out and it doesn't go right back in, because then you'd have to take the box, you have to open the box up to get the ribbon back in. So I just want my ribbon to come out just like right here, and then I push it in. So whenever I need ribbon, I just pull this out. I want to de-stickify this dot a little bit. I just pull it out and then use my ribbon, and then I stick it back in like that. Okay, and now I'm going to put the other label right here on this side. Let's see, how is this going here? I think I might have to trim it down just a little bit because it's a little too long. Let's see. Yeah, now you can just print these labels out, you know, on your computer. I have a Word document that I use to print my labels out and all my designer series paper names. So when I put them in, I'll put them away, I know what they are. Okay, so let me bring back the other ribbon that I have. Okay, I've got all my boxes here. So I hope this video has been useful. I hope that I've taught you something, and I hope that you will try this. Okay, if you need any of the tools and supplies that I used in this video, they will be listed in the description of the video, and all of the measurements for all the other boxes, because the measurements for like here are going to be a little bit wider, so they'll change. Okay, you won't be able to fit this in the smaller boxes, and you might need to use a bigger hole punch for the sides on the bigger boxes too. So just want to make a note of that too. So well, anyway, if you need any, like I said, if you need any of the tools and supplies, please go to my website at www.geamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. I hope to be your demonstrator if you don't already have one. So once again, I'm Jeanette with Geamazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.